Tim, another
Hey,
week.
I know, another week.
They haven't
another
canceled us
day,
yet.
Another sleigh.
Another sleigh.
Not only did they not cancel us, the sweeties are listening
They're
to
checking
us.
us out. It's so sweet.
They are loving it, commenting, and one thing I do want to ask is that you guys rate us on Apple Music Podcasts, and if you can do that on Spotify, do that as well.
Yeah, you can give star ratings on Spotify too. Yeah, please do.
Yeah, do that, because you guys are listening and telling me that you're listening, and I don't know I don't know how much you know this, but I love you so much for doing so.
Yeah.
It's beyond. So
I thought it would just be me and you and me begging my boyfriend to listen, but it's like, oh my gosh, people are checking it out.
Listen, I thought that I was just going to be sitting here by myself listening 25 to 30 times a week. But, I only have to listen the one time.
That's right. So, Tim, let me ask you, how's the new space? I know you recently moved. How's it going?
I moved, and I will say this. I was at first a little apprehensive, a little scared, but I'm okay with it now. It's not exactly what I thought it was going to be, but it is livable and very nice. So I'm enjoying where I am right now.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. I hear there's a Papa John's near you that doesn't believe in no cheese.
Listen, so I just want to let pizza places know.
Any of them.
Any of them. All of them. If you reside in a space that has the power to put on cheese, you also have the power to not put on the cheese.
You don't have to add it. You can leave it off.
You don't have to do that. And if someone asks for no cheese, you don't have to just assume that they made a mistake.
Right.
So I say all that to say, read your instructions.
Yeah, sure.
And follow them. Because reading is fundamental. XOXO.
Words have
Cub and Chub.
Well, Tim, we have an action-packed episode for everybody today.
Do.
We're doing a little bit of trickery, everybody. Although this is the beginning of the episode, we actually have already recorded the part with our brother Kevin.
This is very true. The magic is now revealed.
That's right. All the deduction. So we're going to talk a little bit about drag in general, our love for drag, what brought us to drag, and then talk a little bit about the first episode of season 15 of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Because it was a situation, let me tell you.
A 2-hour premiere, which I didn't know before I hit record. I was like, oh, this is 2 hours.
Yes. And I felt every bit after the hour and 30. Like
yeah. It was getting us there. But yeah, so we're gonna pull Kevin here in just a minute and talk with him a little bit about drag and how he got us to drag, which is we love Kevin. He's so much fun.
I adore him.
He's the best amongst us. So Tim, you want to kick it off?
Hi, I'm Tim.
And I'm Bear, and this is Cub
and Chub.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. And
hi.
If you're watching the video podcast, you might see a new face here. Everybody, This is our fraternity brother, Kevin. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
Hello.
I'm so glad to have you.
Kevin.
So happy to be here.
Yes. Kevin is a favorite amongst our fraternity brothers. We love Kevin very much. Has been a fatherly and motherly figure to a lot of us over the years.
Listen, it's Kevin the mother over here. It's truly that. We love him. We love him. We stand him.
We sure do. And one of the many reasons we love Kevin is that, along with being a great leader and a great advocate for music, is that he also has a love for Drag Race.
Ooh, yes, you do.
That's right. And so we thought as the new season premiered, we bring Kevin on to talk a little bit about his love for Drag Race and also talk a little bit about the new season in the first episode. So Kevin, I'm gonna pick on you a little bit first. So if you would tell us a little bit about like your first experience with drag and what that was like for you and growing up where you were and all that kind of fun stuff.
Well, just kind of like you guys, my first experience with drag, it was kind of passed down from a older fraternity brother, who kind of got me interested in it. And when I was in college about years ago,
Mm-hmm.
we, we used to travel quite a ways to actually go see drag, because for us in kind of rural Southwest Virginia, our
the
nearest
sticks.
drag show, right, really, our nearest drag show was probably about 30-45 minutes away. So we would travel, and that drag show was only on Sunday nights. So
Yep.
you
Oh
know,
no!
if I had to go to class, if we had to go to work, any of that stuff the next morning, it was a little bit of a rough morning. But we got our lives the night before at the at the local drag show, and I'm so appreciative of what that brother did for me in exposing me to that, because I don't know. It was just it's really impactful for me to see kind of that art form and to see the different styles of drag, and that in essence led me to Drag Race. So
Was this at the famous park in Roanoke?
it was.
Yeah, it was.
Really?
And so they would have drag shows, have like a couple of drag shows. So they have like a drag show at like 9, and
Yep.
then one closer to like midnight, and then the bar would
Wow.
close like after like 1 or 2. And
I didn't even know the park was open in the 70s. That's crazy.
Oh no!
got jokes. Look at you already.
No.
Oh, I mean, I just
Mhm.
see the beautiful golden girls on your cup.
Oh,
so-
okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for that.
Tim has some ageism issues on this show.
No, I
is
really don't.
This is only our third episode, and this is the third.
Honestly, if you want to get into it, if you've seen my bed sheets, they've been graced by a few older people.
Oh.
So.
Whoa.
Okay.
All right.
I am
mad at it though.
Great.
I'm not mad at it.
I'm great with the 70s, 80s.
Wow.
Maybe even 60s children of life.
Okay, well,
we need love too, honey. We need love.
And I'm willing and able.
Well, Tim, what about you? When was your first experience with drag or drag culture?
I will say it was on Logo. I snuck and was watching Logo online back in the back of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that, I think it was Raja's season.
Season 3.
Season 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she came out and I was like, ain't that girl that's on Top Model? I was like,
Liz.
this the girl on Top Model.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, she's a drag queen. Okay. And so I looked at, I was watching it and I was just enamored by the beauty of these people who, at the time, I feel like drag was on the show. I feel like drag was more female impersonator heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just amazing to see these masculine figures portray feminine. So it was as somebody who kind of doesn't label themselves as masculine or feminine, and I kind of just feel the day as it goes. It was nice to see that portrayed on TV. So
yeah, my first introduction with Drag Race itself was with Kevin when I was at Radford. But I did have an experience with a drag show prior to that. So in like 2003, 2004, my ex-boyfriend / good friend David DG, shout out to DG.
Mhm.
He brought me to the Rainbow Cactus in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And it was drag night, and I'd never been to a drag show, so I went with him there. And usually at a gay club drag show, like it starts with like there's usually DJ, there's dancing as like the girls are getting ready, so it's kind of like club night too, and we're having some drinks, and then it's time to perform. And this night, I can't remember the name of the drag queen. I feel so bad. But the show started with these two big guys bringing out a Mattel life-size box to the stage, turned around. And so some song started. I can't remember what it was. It's probably a Britney Spears song. But the song starts, and the guys come back out and turn the box around, and you see the drag queen behind the plastic in the Mattel like Barbie box.
Not manual labor.
Got them out there, and then she broke out and like started dancing. I was enthralled. I was like, this is amazing. Absolutely, like, because there's this kind of like punk FU aesthetic to like, taking back the femininity and the quote unquote sissy boy aspect of like what we get ridiculed for. Like, I'm still coming out. I'm still dealing with like, I don't want people to know, like, can they hear my syllable S? And to see these performers get on stage and be like, not only am I going to lean into that, I'm going to be bigger and bolder and beautiful, and I can also drop kick your ass if you say something to me. There's like that kind of like,
and probably did.
Yeah, and probably did.
And probably are going to top those people who hate it.
that kind of fuck you punk like mentality of like drag is what really was like, oh, this is it. And then the kind of beauty and some of like the fashion aspect and going even from comedy to a fashion queen, that kind of stuff like came later for me, and appreciating the different types of drag.
Sure.
But that initial like middle finger of that person breaking out and then like elbowing somebody who's being too touchy, I'm like, yes, I want that.
Well, and I really love the fact that like I could see, I'm certainly a man of a certain size. It was nice for me to see like a drag queen, a big girl, getting up there, owning that stage, owning that whole entire bar, and like so many people like just supporting that and just living for that. Like just I love that. That was one of the first things that like drew me to drag, was like that power that drag queens can have on that stage.
Yeah,
it's so electric, and you can see, you can kind of see yourself a little bit in in these facets of these drag queens. So it was really,
and you truly can, like you said, as a big girl myself, I love my thicky self. I really appreciate that when these people are out, or when drag queens are out in the public and they're just big dudes just existing, it's a whole nother feel. And then when they get on stage, it's like electric and amazing, and I really appreciate that, and I love that about them. So thank you, drag queens around the world.
Absolutely.
Kevin, who are some of your favorite queens out there, whether mainstream or not? Like, who are some of the girls you like to follow or listen to?
Well, that has really changed over the years. I used to, I certainly would gravitate towards some of the big girls, but I just like you guys had said early on, drag was so much more about like the female illusion. So there was padding, and it was like who could look the most like a woman, and and so I think I gravitated towards, that in my limited scope at that time. I think I gravitated more towards, those certainly those more feminine and, just kind of over the top, like big breasts, like, big shapes kind of deal. I think for me, early on, I was definitely a fan of Eureka O'Hara.
Yep.
Back in the
Because you
day.
knew her before she got on Drag Race, right?
Well, and I knew her. I kind of had met her through another friend who grew up in real deep Southwest Virginia, but he went to school for a while at where was it? It was Johnson City.
Yeah.
It was college over there in Johnson City. So I would even go to visit him, and we would go to New Beginnings, and that's where I was able to meet Eureka as well. So and anytime, I will say, anytime that we my friend and I, anytime that we would go to the bar in Roanoke, and they would have queens from Tennessee, we always kind of felt like we were going to get a real treat from that, and we were never really disappointed with those queens. So it was really nice to kind of go and just watch those queens. So
yeah. It's like a hometown feel. It's like this is my prize. It's kind of like how the world loves Dallas Cowboys or something. I don't know why, but
yeah. Well, and they like the performance aspect of it seemed like it was just like a little. It seemed like it was just at a bit of a higher level.
Yeah.
And we were always just really entertained. So
yeah. Nice.
Yes.
Tim, what about you? What are some of your favorite queens out there right now?
So okay, because I am not a super Drag Race aficionado, I have the bigger names in mind. People like Monet Exchange, who's my babe. I love her. If I ever meet her, I'll be like, hey girl, hey boy, top me.
Which, by the way, Monet is a part of our fraternity.
That's right. Brother Monet.
That's right.
Brother Kevin.
That's right.
That part.
Lovely. And then, of course, Bob the Drag Queen, because why not? I love Raja. And yeah, I really enjoy the older girls from Drag Race. I find that BB Zahara Benet, I just love her package. So
yeah, she really has like a kind of a, I mean, it is royal. It is royal.
It's regal. Like, it is.
Walks into a room and commands that, like, you are looking at her. All eyes are on her, and I do love that side of things.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I kind of try to emulate that sometimes.
We just missed seeing her in Austin, Tim. Do you remember that? I think we were in Austin when she was like performing like the week after or something. We had just
and
just
come to
see her.
Dang, I wish I could have seen it.
Well, and I will say, I think that I think that in the earlier seasons of Drag Race, I kind of felt like it was a little less produced. So that allowed, again, kind of more of an organic, situation to,
like the personalities really had to show.
Right. And I think that obviously those queens paved the way, and we started to see different types of queens kind of come through. So it wasn't just about the queens who were just serving the female illusion. It was about queens who were more into comedy, queens that were ooky spooky, You know,
Oof.
shout out to Dragula. I think
Yep.
that that whole side of things, um, you know, Drag Race obviously paved the way for that, and I love kind of seeing that side of drag as well, and
Yeah.
would welcome, you know, and would love to see some of those, you know, queens from that kind of drag, you know, eventually get on a Drag Race. I think we've kind of had a few of those
Yeah.
Yeah.
through, you know.
You had a J. Jolie situation for a second.
Jay, yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin, for
Correct.
those who might not know, what is Dragula?
What is what?
What is
Dracula.
Dragula? What is that? For those who might not know.
Oh, Dragula is another drag competition, and it is hosted by the Boulay brothers.
We're about to go on tour. I don't know if you saw that. They're
Yeah.
about to hit the road with their show.
I started watching Dragula as a horror fan. I was immediately hooked. It involved like the horror side of things along with drag, and I was like, I gotta see this. It's gonna be awesome.
Yep.
But they kind of started like on YouTube, and eventually they moved themselves up to, I believe they're on Shudder right
I
now,
think so,
which is
yeah.
kind of like part of AMC. And the prize is $100,000 now, and they just finished Titans, which was kind of like an All Stars version.
I
Yeah.
heard that. Yeah.
Of their series of shows, but they kind of come at drag from like what is it, horror, filth, glamour, and it's just, I don't know, it's really great. I really encourage anybody who enjoys the art of drag to look at something like that, because you'll see like a really different type of drag there, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think so.
Nice.
I love it. Well, let's get into this this drag race, shall we?
Let's do it.
What how did you think about, what did you think about the first episode? Was it good? Was it okay?
Okay.
Or
So
Bear or Kevin, either one. Y'all want to talk?
So here's what I thought. Like overarching, money produced, like from the
clean.
time that promo came out, and I feel like that's one of the strongest promos I feel like I've seen in the series, and I love that they kind of paid homage to to season one, kind of taking it back. So I really felt like there was I mean, it's just super established. There's you could tell that there's money behind it. So that right off top kind of was kind of in my head. But what I really appreciate, I think, overarching like from this season, is I really feel like they really went in terms of the casting, and really found some great personalities. And I think we're going to get I feel like we're going to get a lot of good stories. We're going to get some drama for sure.
Yeah.
The last season of Drag Race, shout out to them. I love those girls, but it was a lot of, it wasn't in as far as like the drama side of things, it wasn't too much of that stuff going on. I can already tell, like
these
there's some
girls,
personalities that are gonna clash, and I mean, like right out the gate, like they were really just like kind of giving it to each other. So I loved it. I was there for it. So
I gotta say, I'm excited that on the first episode, I agree, Kevin, the production level is very noticeable. And I don't know if that was because of the move to MTV or All-Star 7 did so well, so there was just more money to put into it. But, for those out there who aren't aware, season 1 is a very notable season because for a long time you couldn't even stream it. They didn't have a license for it, and it noticeably looks kind of rough because of the lighting. It's a joke within those people who watch. And so if you go to look from like episode 1 of season 1 to what they did with this first season, it's night and day. There's just, the production is there. They've got it down to a T. I'm more excited. I was really happy that there was a segment on this episode that addressed gatekeeping, and not head on, but we saw a lot of that when we were dealing with the drag queens that have been doing this for a while versus the babies. And some of the comments around what does it mean to be a drag queen? You can only be a drag queen if you do this. Oh, you've never been on a stage before. Yeah. And we're really getting into a generational gap where we're seeing an age difference and an approach to drag that is just different. We've got Sasha, who is a very, very high regarded queen amongst queens, who is finally getting her shot on this show 15 seasons in. And then we've got baby queens who have never been to, who probably aren't even legally allowed to go to bars and can't perform. And you have Mistress, who kind of comes out swinging with the twins, talking about like, you guys aren't old enough, you guys haven't done this and that. And so therefore in her mind, they aren't drag queens. But by the end of the episode, she's starting to be like, I don't mind them as much, or they're kind of growing on me. Like within that episode, we address it, but we also talk about what drag is as a community and the differences and that gatekeeping aspect, because you have these people who have been breaking down walls for so long and feel like this is what it means to do drag, versus TikTok queens who came up during COVID where they couldn't go out and perform, but they feel like they're doing drag. And I think that's a fair argument. So I was kind of happy to see that like really come together on this episode. And like we have a very diverse cast, so many different types of drag represented here. And so I'm excited to see, like, with 16 people and so many different ideas of what drag is, like, where's that going to go? That's kind of what I'm really looking forward to the most, probably.
Yeah, that is actually what I liked about it, as well as, like, I didn't realize, or in my head it clicked. I was like, well, if these baby drag queens had only been doing drag for like 2 years, they would be in their rooms. They've been quarantined. They didn't have a choice to go out. So it really separates a generation of drag, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool, and I love that they were intentional about doing that. So,
well, and did you notice too that, and I think it was Michelle that made the comment about, she made a comment to, I guess, just general comment about how there are queens that don't pad versus queens that do pad. Because I feel like that's also, like, I hear comments like that a whole lot.
Yep.
From really established drag artists, who are like, well, that's not real drag because they're not, it's given boy body or something like that, versus someone who is, a little more, I don't know, like tolerant and understanding, of that. So I hope that we continue to have those kinds of discussions, this season to really show people that, that there are all kinds of different facets of drag and what it's giving. So.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping, because I think we mentioned this because we were able to watch the episode together. I heard that comment from Michelle, and I was like, this is a show that gave Evie Oddly the crown, somebody who was historically not padding, who is doing a type of drag that is not very typical, and it was really kind of cool to see. And so, that's like 3 seasons ago, Evie got the crown, and it's like you're kind of hoping that at some point we can get past the idea of what historically we think drag is to what it can be. And then still on season 15, it's like, the young queens don't like to pad, and they really need to get over that. And it's like, wait, what? Like, that seems a little limiting in terms of of what this show has even done in the past, which is I thought was kind of an interesting comment from Michelle.
Yeah,
Well,
I
and I'm
think
gonna.
go ahead, Kevin.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I'm gonna play kind of devil's advocate on that too,
Sure.
because I also feel like they also on Drag Race, it's historically known, like they always at some point, and it's usually Michelle, at some point she's like, I want to see something different. I want to see you try this. I want to see you, I want to see you this. And I like I get that. I also get that side of things as well, because I also feel like if this franchise is gonna, if it's gonna give you what $200,000 now, they want to be able to know that like there's a range there, and that there's at least probably an openness to trying something, to trying something different, to trying something, new. And I think as a viewer, especially if we kind of see a certain silhouette that we know is established by you, like we as viewers kind of can look at something different and go, oh, okay, well, that's cool. They can also do that. But
sure.
This is who they are. So I kind of see that side of things too. Sorry, Tim.
Yeah. No. For me, I because this group seems, well, not the whole group, but a lot of them seem so fresh and very young. I'd like to see what they look like in body, and I'm sure they'd like to see what they look like in body. They may want to change some things if they just try. Life is about experimentation and trying anyway. So I get the idea that you don't have any padding on. Maybe you want to try that. This is the space. This is the space to try.
Yeah.
It is the Olympics of drag, so why not just go ahead and put yourself out there and do everything? You don't always have to, you don't have to change it up completely and go all the way to the padded couch of, Oz, but you do have to try and please the judge sometimes. So even Evie Oddly changed up her makeup. So
yeah.
And she, she's done some things that have enhanced her drag. And I think that especially the kids who haven't had as much experience in the outside world could benefit from a little padding. Even the twins pad. So
yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Mm.
Sorry, I was about to say something that I'd have to edit out. Yes, they do pad.
Oh, a lot of those little girls had little flim flams.
Oh my gosh, the couch cushion. They're like
no, it wasn't even a couch cushion. It was like a pencil pouch that they had.
Not a pencil pouch.
I was like, what is this? I was like, what are you putting on your thigh to make it go nowhere? But I want to say this before we go too far deep into it. Me, I don't know a daggone thing about drag, and I do not do not take anything that I say for any literal purpose other than entertainment, because at the end of the day, these babies are on Drag Race, and I am sitting in my chair in an undisclosed location. So this is just for fun, and we love all these girls, the ones before and the ones to come. So
absolutely,
no, we're fans of the product, and are just having a good time talking about what we're seeing and what we love, because we wouldn't be doing this and talking about it this long if we didn't have a love and appreciation for it. So if we're joking or having a good time, we definitely don't mean any ill will towards the queens and who they are as people or anything. We're just we love drag.
No, you're all wonderful, and you inspire me in so many ways you have no idea.
Absolutely.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Bye.
Okay.
And we're back with our
Hello.
beloved brother, Kevin.
Kevin.
Yes.
Kevin.
So, Kevin, I have a question.
Yes.
Who are some of your faves in this 15th season?
Well, I believe I told y'all on Friday. I really am kind of living for Mistress Isabel
Mhm.
Brooks.
Mhm.
I love the fusion of the old school drag and like kind of some current things. It takes me back to like just seeing the queens and the style of drag that I'm used to. So
Mhm.
she's definitely a standout for me. I think I'm actually kind of shocked, but because I wasn't sure that I really would identify with this queen, but Marsha, I like the I know that they were reading her for being, basic, but also like there's a point of view there. There's like a really specific reference, obviously, if you're aware of it. And I really thought that her part on the extravaganza show, the talent show, was I thought it was kind of brilliant. It did remind me of Willow Pill. Last season, it kind of had those elements to it, but I think it showed off exactly like who she is. She talked about having that degree in theater, and you could see that in her, in her dance and in her
Very
movements.
Yeah.
But I wasn't expecting, I guess, the level of camp with her. So I would say those two. I'm kind of sitting in the background because you know I have not been as familiar with Sasha Colby. I've heard the name.
Sure.
I never went and actually like truly like got into that. But I'm kind of like looking in the background, and she obviously she gets a huge edit. She gets a huge, like, she's coming in, she's well known. Everybody is like, that's the one, you know. I kind of felt like she was kind of safe. She did well.
Yeah.
But I kind of felt like she was just kind of safe there, in the middle. And I wonder what kind of edit they're going to give her, because we have seen queens in the past that have, kind of come in with like this big following, this big
Yeah.
chip on their shoulder. And that's not to say that they're not great at what they do,
Mhm.
and how they perform, but sometimes that doesn't always align with like TV
Yeah, it
and
doesn't translate.
being produced. And she just kind of, this will be the last thing, but she just kind of, to me, she just kind of, gave me, first of all, professionalism. Like, she was going to come up in there and be really professional. She's not, I feel like she's not going to be here for like the hijinks and the craziness. She's here, just like she kind of maybe approached Continental. Like, she's in this competition, to show what she's about and what she can do. And and I'm hoping that the the producers are going to be, kind to her on that, and allow her to really be shown in the light that she deserves. So
Nice.
yeah.
What about you, Bear?
So I'll piggyback off of some of Kevin's comments. When I watched the intro video a couple weeks ago, when they did the intro for everybody, Marsha cubed M3, copyright cub, whatever you want to call her. I took a liking to her because I like the joke. I think it's funny. I'm a '90s kid that loved those Brady Bunch movies, and I watched the Brady Bunch growing up. And there's something just kind of funny about that as a drag aesthetic to me. But also, I kind of started Instagram stalking Marsha, and they have a very theater kid, so dancing, performing, musicals. Like there's some talent there that they've been kind of like developing for a very long time. So when I saw that what her background was and then what the aesthetic was, it's like the aesthetic seems very pedestrian, very one note, very like you're not going to see it coming to me. And I was kind of like, that's intriguing. On the flip side, I will say that character can be very one notish. So it's like it was funny on this episode, and the talent was really, really great. I thought that was just a very funny bit. But the feedback on the makeup, I did notice that on some recent pictures after the season that her makeup is a little bit more there than what we saw in this episode, where it was just, very basic makeup. Again, probably for the character, not necessarily trying to show off her drag in general. So I think she's taken some of those comments to heart since this episode was made. But I'm curious. I think there's a lot of talent there. So I'm kind of curious to see, like, is she going to come from behind and really show us something beyond this kind of like character? Because I think it was Monet or maybe it was Bob on a recent episode of their podcast where they said, Bob was like, you can't go on there and just do a character. Like you can have fun with it and do skits with it, but you can't just be that character. You have to be kind of you and a more developed queen. And I think especially some of the younger queens who are just kind of figuring out who they are and what their voice is, and now they're on a national stage. That's kind of the fun of that side of it. But Marsha was definitely like somebody from the beginning. I was like, I'm kind of curious about this one. Now, the girl that got me the most, and Tim, I think you might agree with me, Robin Fierce. Robin was like on that interview. I was like, this is fine, but I don't think there's anything special here. And then she came out the gate. Her looks were amazing.
Great song choice.
The talent. Like her runway wasn't terrible. I thought of all the runways, she had like a decent runway, but the talent, like she's just beautiful, just gorgeous. Yeah. I was like, Robin, I want more Robin. I was immediately, so that was my like complete 180. I was like, I wasn't really paying attention to her, and I was like, oh, nice. Okay, I'm here for that. So Marsha and Robin, but again, like, and we'll talk a little bit about it, but Lux, Robin, Anitra, who ultimately won the episode. Anitra, Tim, let me hand it over to you before I start just naming all these queens. Tim,
listen, Anitra is everything to me. Yeah. And I did not see her. I wasn't seeing it for her at all. I think she is a cute boy.
Her confessional. Yeah, she's a cutie.
And
that's a cute.
Listen, and if you duck walk, them knees, honey, them knees.
She immediately got a t-shirt and a saying on the first episode. Like,
she said, I think I'm a stunt queen. That's what they call it. I was like, oh, I love this queen. And Robin Fierce, of course. I was even seeing it for the tape that was showing through her wig. I was seeing for it because there are some girls out in the hood that love to put a little glitter right up in there. And I love it. I love it for them. I love a disco moment because she was giving it. Listen,
for those who can't see it, Kevin just held up his drag her fan. So
listen, I'm not dragging her. I'm celebrating her because listen, she has the beauty. She has like, it's not like in your face comedy, but I think she's rather funny. And she's just a cute girl. She's just a cute girl to me.
I know her. Like it's like I've seen her. Like, I know that girl.
Exactly. She gives me that's Keisha over there about to do the hopscotch. Like I see her.
She was up in her Best Buy gig selling CDs.
Listen.
I mean,
and she sure said, you know what? I can't shade them because they did let me come up and drag with my bob. I was like, you know, I'm known for the bob. Like, it's like not B.O.B. over here at the Best Buy. But I love Robin Fierce. I love Anitra. One more that I was not living for it when I first saw it because I watched it multiple times. I actually like Mistress.
Okay.
I really appreciate that even though it was very southern, she's very southern in her ways.
Yeah.
Like she will talk cash shit about you, but she did help one of the twins and was like, oh, you need to glue your wig down. And also she just, the way she came in on Untucked and how she was it gave me a human feel to her that I didn't get at first.
Well, and that's what I was saying to you guys at the end of the show on Friday, was that I'm looking for, I'm looking for more than just a look or, some stunts. I'm really looking for that. I'm really looking for that queen who, she recognizes she's in a competition with you, but she's not going to let her sister go out on the stage looking any kind of way. And she's gonna, she's going to be the one that's going to help you get it together before you get out there so that you can shine in your, and so I really think that kind of stuff really speaks volumes about who you are. So
and I really enjoyed Selena Estides. I just love her name, Selena Estides. She's fun to say. Yeah, and not to mention it's very close to STDs, and I'm sure she meant that.
Probably.
I will say it's interesting. Did you guys watch Pit Stop yet?
I did.
Okay. So, and I hopped on the live Zoom with Bob and Monet yesterday when they started recording their review episode. And all of them are loving Mistress. Like there is every single one of them is just like Mistress. And I'm like,
it's because they know that Southern pageant girl. Like they know her. They know that type.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of love for her out there, which is nice. So
well, I think it's a way to continue to preserve that old style of drag, but also kind of bring it a little more current as well. So so I like that idea. So I've got a question for you guys. What do you guys think about I've been kind of hearing some things online about the talent show, and people have been talking about how they feel like the talent show should be more than just just lip syncing to a track. They're looking for more substance. What do you guys think?
So to those people, I'd like to ask, what do they want from drag queens? Are they asking them to bake cakes, or like, are they asking them to wrestle on stage? Or, we got people who chop wood, and duck walk. So I appreciate that. But my thing is this is like, do what you know how to do. Because if you don't have the range for something, I suggest you don't do it, because then you end up looking like Lucy LaDuca, who was singing their tune in front of one of the greatest voices of the Gen Z generation. So that's what I think.
I'll say this. I agree with a little bit of that sentiment, because I'm definitely one of those people that when the talent episode comes on, if I see you walk out and you're immediately lip syncing, I'm kind of like, been there, done that. Like everybody should be able to do a little bit of lip sync and a little bit of dancing. So if that's all you're gonna do, then you're probably gonna fall into the middle of the road for me. You're not going out of your way to try something new, so you're not gonna succeed. Or if you do and you fail, like we saw this week, you're gonna end up in the bottom. So it's a really good way to be safe. And if you don't really have something to put out there like that, then I can see why you might choose that path, because if you can do it at a basic level, you're probably going to be okay that week. But again, like to Anitra's point, Anitra did that. She came out and she lip synced, but that duck walk was amazing. Her high kick, like she displayed things that were of talent within that metric. Yeah. So I'm like, that I'm okay with. But I won't call them out, but there were a number of queens this week that are probably on people's high end list that just lip synced and danced a little bit. And I do not remember what they did. And I don't care because they just fall to the back of my brain.
But I also want to say a lot of those queens were doing their own original song too. So like it showcased that they could write and produce music, or
Lux's track was fire.
Yeah.
And Lux is, I mean, that's what Lux did. They came out, they lip synced and they danced around. But that
song was great. And it wasn't her song, was it? No. It was not her song, but the fact that we lived for the song and, she did it to that level.
Yeah. Even Jax, came out. I don't remember if Jax's song was original or not, but
I don't think so.
The jump thing, the hair, like you did something I wasn't expecting. The look was great. So I think there's definitely ways to do it and make it your own and not fall to the middle. But again, there's 16 queens, and I probably only remember 5 or 6 performances because they were really great or really bad, and everybody else is kind of like meh.
But to be fair, it's 16 queens. I don't have that great of a memory.
No, it's a lot.
It is a lot. Yeah.
Are there any particular the 15th season of Drag Race, we kind of know some of the things that are going to be coming up with some of the challenges. Are there any particular challenges you're looking forward to, and are there any particular queens because of what we saw this first episode that you think, man, I'm kind of looking forward to that episode to see how they do? I know I'm trying to think about, like, obviously one of the big ones that I think of is the why am I blanking? The impersonation.
Snatch
Game. I couldn't think of Snatch. Jeez. Woo. The Snatch Game. I was trying to think about who I thought would really excel in the Snatch Game, but so much of the Snatch Game is about impersonation. And I don't know that I saw anybody here today that I know can do that we didn't really cover that kind of ground on this episode.
I didn't see like a comment. I didn't see like, even though people said they were known for their comedy, which is great, I didn't see anybody who like made me think, oh, they're going to be funny.
Right. I think Marsha's very funny, but she can't do Marsha on the Snatch Game. She's already Marsha, so
maybe she's going to do Jan.
Maybe she'll do Jan.
That might be fun.
That'd be funny.
I think that. Oh my gosh! I think the stone Amethyst. I think Amethyst might do a funny somebody.
Yeah, I think she's got comedy chops. I mean, she had an idea this week that didn't really pan out, but
she doesn't have timing. But like,
the backpack reveal was just way too early. But the idea was there.
Yeah,
and it's like okay, that could be funny. You got to work it out a little bit, but I think she's got comedic chops that could work out if she's got a good character to do.
Yeah,
I don't know, Kevin. What do you think? What are some things you're looking forward to?
Well, I think at the top of my list, this season and this cast, because we really seem to have some entertainers. I would like to see the Rusical. Certainly the girl groups.
Yeah.
The girl groups challenge, that could be, I mean, that could be it. Like that, it's crazy because I feel like on the girl group side of things, we have had some of the biggest success in the franchise over in the UK, like with the girl group stuff. So I would love to see, I love to see it come over here to the over here to the States, and for that to be pretty interesting. But also I don't know, I like the design challenges as well.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna do I wonder if they're gonna do it super early and have all of those queens, so many
Listen,
looks.
I
But
told y'all I want to
just
I want a triple elimination. I want a triple elimination. I want it so bad. And they can do it. They have enough queens to say bye girl and still have like 15, 16 people. But like
that's the one thing I think about with Irene leaving this week. It's like with 16 queens, they probably planned for at least 12-ish episodes to have like 4 people at the end. So 12 weeks, 12 looks, 12 challenges to prep for. And Irene's walking away with 11 looks and 11 ideas that she is not going to put on. And I'm like, that's got to suck. That's the one thing about All-Star 7. Like when they came in and they stayed the whole time, they got to do all their different stuff and perform. Like I think about, man, if I'm a drag queen who's not famous yet and doesn't have that buck, and I planned out 12 weeks of stuff, and I'm like,
the money.
Yeah, that's oh my gosh.
I'm gonna be a little catty. I don't mean I guess I do.
Girl, own it. What?
But if what she had on this week for the runway is what we had to look forward to, I'm glad we don't have to see that.
Well,
it wasn't bad. It just wasn't giving like anything.
Oh, I didn't. I mean,
it was giving ice water.
It
truly was.
I think it's. I mean, obviously, it's so early to like really get into her, aesthetic. Really, I think she. I think we would have seen some very creative things, and I will say I did watch what you're packing. With Michelle Visage.
Okay.
And they do showcase some of the looks there. And Irene talked about specifically all of her looks were designed by local artists in Seattle. So I thought that was great. She definitely shot out like a few names of the garments that she had there, but she also said that she'll be putting them up each week as well.
Oh, she should.
That's awesome.
I hope that all the queens do that. That they like. I know we saw Lux Noir London with her runway look on Instagram. It changed my mind about the whole outfit. But
I thought that was a great look for sure.
Yeah, I hope all the queens put their stuff on Instagram.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the designers, they deserve it, to be featured, so there's a few. I know Bob and Monet oftentimes will, they will shout out the designers of
if
certain,
they can,
of certain folks. So it's good to support those folks as well. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think we're going to take one last break, and we're going to come back and let everybody know what we're living for. So be right back.
Bye.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Cub and Chub.
Hi.
Chub. Oh, quick shout out. Tim, we have a logo. We have
a
new cover.
God. I saw that. Yeah. I posted it. It's so cute.
It's so cute. Kevin, I posted it right before we hopped on here. So I want a special shout out to Nick Morelli.
Thank you, Nikki.
Got to meet him through my partner in crime, is one of his friends from Buffalo. Just a really amazing cartoonist and artist in general. And so he's actually made a cover art for me before for another piece of music I was writing. So really, really cute. So we're going to start posting that everywhere. If you want to check Nick out, his Instagram handle is Nick_Morelli33. That's NICK_MORELLI 33. Again, thank you, Nick, so much. We really love it. So
thank you, Nick.
Yay. So Kevin, let me ask you, what's making you live this week? How you doing? What's going on?
I'm still kind of living on, the new year.
2023.
Whole new year, new me, new. I think for me right now, I of course I just moved into a new house, a few months ago.
Oh, she's a homeowner, honey.
Homeowner,
very
baby.
excited about
A millennial homeowner.
Oh, the
You
rarest
ain't never
of
seen nothing like
yeah.
that.
the rarest of the gemstones. Oh,
So I really think I'm just living for, just being in this moment, enjoying this home, enjoying minding my business
Oh,
of the black ass variety.
doesn't it feel beautiful? It feels fierce, Robin fierce.
That's really it. Like I wake up and I don't have to worry about people above me or below me or
Oof.
to either side of me. Just like it's just me and my dog, and so I'm just still really living for that. So
shout out to Roman. Hi, Roman.
Hi, Roman.
We love Roman.
We love
We
Roman.
do. We stand Roman.
Tim, what about you? What's making you live this week?
Well, I have not discussed with you guys, but we talked about music last week and how my voice is very nice. Thank you. I am taking vocal lessons.
Hey,
Yes.
nice.
Yeah. So I
you.
did my first vocal trial lesson on Wednesday. It was either Tuesday or Wednesday, and it went really well. I'm very, very scared. Well, not scared. I'm just nervous and apprehensive about it. But the one thing that he said was that even though I was nervous, I didn't let it stop me. And I really had to pat myself on the back about that because a lot of times I do be nervous and I will let it stop me. So, so I'm living for vocal training and getting stronger in the new year. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Good for you.
That's great, Tim.
Nice.
Thank you.
Awesome.
And Mr. Bear, what are you living for?
So I'm getting out of my comfort zone. Actually, shortly after we wrap up this podcast, I am going to go play dodgeball in a
modern day Stony. Yes, I love it.
I'm going to go hang out with the other queers and go throw dodgeballs at each other. It's a Stonewall Sports League here in Richmond. So it's a queer-based league, and me and Tim did a round of kickball with them a couple years ago.
Yes, we did.
Got to meet a bunch of people that I would say are friends now and that are really, really nice, sweet people. So I'm going to go have balls thrown at me and try to dodge them or catch them and get out of my comfort zone a little bit. So...
Listen, Marsha P. Johnson, shout out to her. She threw that stone, threw that brick, and so now people are throwing balls. So go Stonewall. I love it.
Wow.
And maybe stop off at CVS on the way home and get some icy hot.
There you go, icy hot. Get that.
We don't do icy hot over here. We are not that old.
This is 40.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, you will know soon, baby. You will know soon.
This is what I do know. I did see on the internet that 35 is the new age to begin middle age. So I'm at the beginning of my middle of age, and I will say that I'm enjoying it. The shine on everything that I do and touch and see is amazing. And I love both of y'all so much. So I'm so glad you're older than me so I can see what to do
Or what not to do, or what not to do in some work. I love you both so much, Kevin. Thank you so much for joining us this week. We're so glad you're here.
Kevin. Oh.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. I love this podcast. I love listening, even though like I know you guys so well. It's so great to like hear your perspectives on things, and I like there are even like little things that like, oh, I never knew that about you, or I didn't realize that. So it's really great to kind of hear that. Plus, I think the world of you guys. I hope this whole experiment that you're doing, I hope it like grows and grows and grows and grows. I would love to be back at any point.
Yes.
To talk about whatever. And yeah, thank you guys so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. I love you so much. I know Bear does too. We love you.
That's right. Everybody, thank you so much. You can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter at Cub and Chub. That's CUBANDCUB. Oh, no, I didn't spell that right at all. That's at Cub and Chub, CHUBANDCUB, Cub and Chub.
Oh, wait. Yep. I have one more. I have a shout out for my friend Missy. She loves our podcast. She was raving about it. And I just want to tell you, I love you so much and I miss you. And thank you so much for listening. Everybody else, thank you for listening to us. You don't have to, but you do. And I know you love it. So
that's right. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week. Have a good one. Bye, guys.
Bye.